Hi, my name is Galen Moore. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Token Report. We're an investor information service covering crypto assets and token sales. I'm here with Ty Danco, an angel investor, and William Mougayar, who's the author of The Business Blockchain and an advisor on token projects. If you look at a site like CoinMarketCap, for example, they are tracking 811 different cryptocurrencies that are right now traded openly. So that's 811 different blockchain-based coins out there in the universe. And that number seems to be growing at a rate of about 1 to 2 projects announced per day. So William, I'm interested in your perspective. Can this continue?
Yes, for the foreseeable future, it's going to accelerate, not only continue. Earlier in the year, we didn't even have one per day. We had maybe 30 projects last year. So this is becoming the trend right now. It may become the new reality. I'm getting emails every day from companies, from startups that want to do an ICO just because it's the way to do it right now.
Well, clearly in this great land rush, this reminds me of nothing more than penny stocks. And there will be as many surviving ICOs in 2 years from now as there will be surviving startups, and maybe less, because it seems to be that the barriers for funding are much lower here. So, this will be shaken out, but I don't doubt for a second that we have come into a new business model, which is very viable for different types of companies. The open source protocol companies, this is the way to go.
Yeah, but they are not all protocols. That is a bit of a misconception. This whole thing started as a funding of protocols, like Bitcoin is a protocol, Ethereum is a protocol. But now it's becoming applications. It's becoming anything, really. It's becoming any idea that wants to get funded. The role of the token, which is very important, is also taking a whole range of utility. And some of them, it's a good role, and some of them you would question, why is there a token in the first place? And these are ones that would be at risk, I think, in the long term.
Some of those projects, though, that don't necessarily have a protocol element, some of the ones that I find most interesting are the ones that are seeking to tokenize a real-world asset.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm seeing a lot of real estate projects. Mm-hmm. That are going to do this. That's not a bad idea, by the way. So you would take an asset that already exists and you give that asset a life on the blockchain, and you can have multiple owners for that asset, and that way that's something that's going to happen now, because it makes the asset more liquid and it brings more stakeholders into it. So
that liquidity, I think, is key. While token sales, I don't think, are justified for many of these business models. If you're a subscription service, just be a subscription service. You don't have to become a coin. No offense, Galen. But the idea of having liquidity where otherwise there is none is a great improvement. I can't think of an early stage investor who wants less liquidity rather than more liquidity. But I think that those types of questions can be changed as the other markets now try to catch up with the new kid on the block. It's also quite interesting that the person who probably was most responsible for bringing secondary liquidity to illiquid markets was Barry Silbert, who started Second Market.
I think Ty raised an interesting point there on standards. What if you would just give us a short checklist? What would you look for in a token sale that they ought to be doing in order to be legitimate?
Well, we're still learning about what the best practices are. But first and foremost is real transparency. Transparency and being very open about what you will be doing with those tokens. Who will get them, when, who will have a locked up period for their tokens. And being very open about it. I just launched a new site this morning called Token Filings, which is collecting a number of parameters around these token sales. And when we were building it and putting the data in, it was very obvious that the information was very difficult to find. It was everywhere, and it was not just on the website. So right now, the focus is on marketing. You will see that the successful ICOs have done a good job at marketing themselves.